Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Jose, and we are Bespoke Strength.
When our clients come to us, many of them say that they don't recognize themselves in the mirror anymore. And they know that they are ready to make a change, but nothing has been working for them, or they may have started something and it was working for a little while and then it stopped. So today we want to show you maybe a shift in the way you've been thinking about fitness and nutrition, so that you can recognize yourselves again and be proud of the person looking back in the mirror. So let's get started. We're going to share our screen. Okay. Okay. So if you are here and you are ready, you are done not feeling like yourself anymore, and you're ready to create the change that will make a difference in how your body looks and feels. You may have been scrolling on Instagram thinking, I should do this, or you're following tips from various coaches, but really not going full in on something. And that could be just because there's so much out there, you're not sure what to do, what to follow. So you may be doing things that you think should be helping you, like group fitness classes or Pilates or even lifting weights. You're eating healthy, but you're just not seeing results that you think you should be seeing. And you know you are capable of making the change, but you need a system that works with your real life, even when it gets a little messy.
So, before we begin, I want to introduce who we are. Jennifer and Jose Perez, we are a married couple and we are a coaching team as well, with 23 years of experience combined in the health and wellness space. In 2022, Jennifer and I picked up and left New York with our 9 boxes and 2 fur babies. We now currently live in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and we are extremely happy. Over the years, we've seen that most women aren't struggling because they lack motivation and discipline, or because they're not trying hard enough. They are. But we strongly believe that progress comes from having a simple blueprint, which more times than not, people do not have. Our approach is centered on creating confidence through small, intentional building blocks that lead to a sustainable, healthy lifestyle that fits real life. We teach this lifestyle and we live it.
Yep. So maybe some of these things sound familiar. You don't recognize yourself in the mirror, like we said before. You have little to no energy for daily activities like just carrying groceries, laundry, cleaning, right? You want to be able to finish your workday and still have energy for when you get home. Maybe you'd love to say yes to going on a spontaneous adventure that when your friend calls you, rather than saying, "Ugh, I'm too tired to do that." This is a big one that we hear a lot. You rarely prioritize you, right? You're used to taking care of everyone else and putting yourself kind of at the bottom. You might have a difficult time saying no to work, family, friends. You may even have had some poor health markers like a higher cholesterol, blood pressure, or you might have even had a health scare. So this is Rebecca, and Rebecca came to us um, feeling like she didn't recognize herself anymore. I remember on our discovery call, like that was the first thing that she mentioned to me. And in her own words, she said, at the age of 50, I felt like a stranger in my own skin. I didn't recognize myself when I looked in the mirror. I felt old, exhausted, and out of shape, even though I was exercising 5 days a week. I was worried about what my future held. If I felt this bad at 50, how would I feel at 60, 70, or 80? What I have learned is not a quick fix or a short-term solution. It's a lifestyle. I have learned habits that align with how I want to look and feel as I age. I've not only found myself again, but I'm evolving into an even better me than I ever thought was possible. So these are her results at 3 months and at 6 months, and she's been maintaining ever since. right? She still works with us. She's still a client of ours, um, and has done a phenomenal job of keeping the weight off and feeling really good about herself. And this is Meg. So Meg falls in the camp of having a health scare. She said, it's hard to put into words how good it feels to regain control of your body after chemo and cancer changed it so much. Here I was, 30 pounds overweight, joint pain, hot flashes, and a body I didn't recognize. Now here I am 3 months later, down 20 pounds. I love food. I love my training program, and I love my double mastectomy body, right? So I think one of the biggest things that you can see in these photos too is the difference in just her body language and how she's standing. Look at her from the start to 3 months. She's got her sass back. So really good to see.
So you've tried it all, right? You're saying to yourself, I've done everything. I eat healthy. I've tried all of the fad diets, keto, intermittent fasting, carnivore. I've tried all the workout programs that you see on social media. You've restricted calories for an endless amount of time. Cardio, group fitness, lifting weights. You've tried everything. You've done it all, but you still haven't received the results or achieved the results that you're after.
So this is Alicia. Alicia said, I used to be so tired and out of breath, just walking up steps was a challenge. On my own, I was working out to video programs 6 days a week with dumbbells, eating around 1,000 calories a day for over 3 months, and I did not lose even 1 pound. That's wild. But this is something that we hear over and over. So then she came to work with us, and she said, after changing my nutrition to a flexible macro-based approach, I lost 20 pounds and 12 inches total in just 3 months. So that's here. Really good. Then she came on board for training with us as well. And she said the training programs helped immensely. Learning how to progress each week made a huge difference in my physique. And that's something that we found also with our clients is it's not that they didn't know, some of them knew to lift weights, like that was really important, but they just didn't know how to progress each week to make those results happen. And this is Jacqueline. She said, I was doing all the things that used to work for me, but stopped working after I had kids. I had even tried new strategies and spent hours researching, but my results were always short-lived and inconsistent. I wanted to feel like me again, and I wanted that me to be able to sustain what I was working so hard for. Now, when I see glimpses of myself in the mirror, I like what I see again. I feel proud of my hard work, and I can't wait for tank top season to roll back around. I finally feel like myself again. This is what we hear over and over from our clients. They just want to feel like themselves again.
So, what are you going to learn today? Well, first, you're going to learn the reason why you haven't seen the results that you want. Again, you've been chasing all of these different diets and doing all these different workouts, but you just haven't gotten the results that you want. And what you learn today is the best and simplest system to start seeing those results that you're after. You learn how to have more energy in the daily life and feel like yourself again.
Because that's the ultimate goal that we want for you guys. So these are some things that you might be telling yourself, and these are some ways to kind of reframe it a little bit. So you might be saying, I'm in menopause, so this is just how it's going to be. And to be honest, we've heard some people say that their doctors tell them this as well. You're in menopause, this is just how it's going to be, right? But let's shift that. Let's say menopause just means I need a smarter strategy, right? You might be telling yourself, everyone else has no problem losing weight, so it just must be me. I can't do this, right? Let's reframe that to, it's not that I can't lose weight, but I just need a plan that matches my history, my body in this season of life that I am in, right? What good is a plan if it only works when things are perfect, right? Everybody's in a different place, and that whatever plan you're doing has to work with you. I'm too old to lose weight, you might have been saying. So instead, how about I'm not too old, I just haven't been given the right system for this stage of my life. Here's another big one that we hear a lot. My metabolism is broken. Okay, let's reframe that to my metabolism isn't broken, it's adapted, and I can rebuild it, right? You have the power to rebuild it as long as you have the right system to do it. Our bodies adapt, they don't break, they adapt. So we have to kind of shake it up a little bit. Another thing you might tell yourself is, if I eat more, I'm going to gain weight. So I need to be stricter, right? And that just leads to that restriction mentality. So instead, saying more structure, not more restriction, is what is going to create progress. So listening to our clients who have had meaningful success with us, we started noticing a recurring pattern. They would tell us that when friends or family asked how they created such noticeable change, and then our clients told them what they were doing, their response was almost always the same. Oh, I could never do that. That sounds way too time consuming. And we kept hearing versions of that sounds great, but I could never keep that up. I could never sustain that for myself. So that's good for you, but I could never do that.
So you might be thinking, it'll be too difficult to implement this into my busy lifestyle. I'm always taking care of everyone else's needs first. It feels selfish to take care of me. And that's one of the biggest things. I always like to use an example of when you're on a plane and they're giving you the instructions, and they talk about the oxygen mask. They always tell the parents, put your oxygen mask on first before you put on your child's, because you need to have the oxygen, because if you pass out, then you can't help your child,
Or
right?
anyone. Doesn't even have to be your kid, it could be
Exactly.
anybody.
So you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of everyone else around you. It's not selfish. Um, and another thing that people feel is they worry about people judging them. You know, people sometimes they project their own things on us, but we can't take that on, right? So, um, but at what cost? With all of this, at what cost do we think this way? What does it cost you?
Yeah, it's gonna cost you to, what does it cost to not make the change, right? So that's what we're gonna talk about today. And this is Jessica. So Jessica came in with, or she said, I came in with confusion and food noise about fasting, weights, cardio, perimenopause, blah, blah, blah. And after the bridge, which is one of our programs, she came out with guidelines on how to fit my real working mom of two young kids who just turned 40 and travels monthly for work life, right? So that's a lot packed in there. And she found a way to make the system work for her lifestyle in the stage that she's in right now.
So you also might be thinking, I've been doing this enough and I've been doing so much that I should be better at this by now. If you haven't had the right instruction on how to do something, how could you get better at it? I need to do everything all at once for it to work. And sometimes all or nothing is not the thing. It's taking things little step by step and little by little. That's really what's going to help you reach the goal. I need more motivation is another thing that a lot of people say, and it's not really motivation. You need more consistency, and you need to build up that consistency.
And to just take action, right? You're looking for momentum. You're waiting for motivation, you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting, right? If you just take a small action towards what you need to do, like if you're having trouble getting motivated going to work out, just put your shoes on or put your workout clothes on and put your shoes on. And then, all right, my shoes are on, I'll put my jacket on and I'll just, right? It just builds that momentum. And then before you know it, you're at the gym, you're doing your training session, which always, mostly everybody tells us it makes them feel better. They're glad they did it, right? So you don't need motivation, you need to take action to build momentum.
And I think another big um, obstacle or roadblock is I'll do it when life slows down. Life is never going to slow down. Life is always going to life. You just need a plan and a system that will fit when life gets messy.
Mhm. Yeah, so you can pivot and learn to pivot and learn to make it work no matter what. And just another thing about like doing everything all at once, like that's part of the reason why we shifted and made our new system, right? Because doing everything at once is hard, and we wanted to make things a little more simple. So, all right. So instead of thinking those ways, how about thinking this? It's not about doing more, it's about doing things in the right sequence and understanding the why, and then applying one concept at a time, adding a new building block each week, right? So again, you're not doing everything get thrown at you all at once. You add something each week that builds on the week before. And really understanding the why is so important because, yes, like so many people are just given a plan and say, here, go do this, but not told the why. So if you don't understand why you're doing something, it's really hard to sustain that after, right? You're doing the plan with the person and then what? Right? So when you understand why you're doing it, it's much easier to sustain. Understand that consistency doesn't come from motivation or willpower. It comes from taking action and gaining momentum, like we said. And there's never going to be a right time. So just start. Like literally just start and start messy. This is Michelle. Michelle started her journey right after Thanksgiving. Okay, going right into all the big holiday seasons and parties and food everywhere, all of it. Um, and she was just like, no, I'm ready to do it. And what's interesting about Michelle too is that she had reached out to us, I want to say probably 3 years prior. Um, and then again a year after that, right? And she was just like, no, it's a little too much for me right now, cost wise. And so each time she didn't do it. And then finally, this last time, she was just like, it's worth it. It's worth it to make an investment in myself. And now she says she still works with us and she's still maintaining. And she said so many times to us that she just wishes she had done it sooner. She's happy that she did it. She doesn't regret anything, but she does wish that she would have just started it one of those other times that she reached out to us.
One thing that you want to keep in mind is this investment, the return on investment is guaranteed. It's guaranteed as long as you put in the work and follow the instructions and follow the system, it is guaranteed. Can't really guarantee much on investments, but on this particular investment, if you put in the work and you do everything that you need to do, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's just how it works.
Yep. As you can see with these people. So Michelle said, I'm 57 years old and was not happy with the number on the scale, how my clothes fit, or how I felt in my own skin. I've got a grandson who's a toddler. I wanted to chase and play to live a long, healthy life. And I decided what I was doing wasn't getting me to where I wanted to go. I asked what I needed to do. I immediately saw results. I've lost weight in inches. I do not have the aches and pains. I'm shedding away the parts that I wasn't keen about and seeing the tone and muscle coming out. And I really love this. So this is a 3-month change. It's pretty remarkable.
So you don't need more time. You don't need more willpower. You don't need to work harder. What you need is a system built on clear building blocks, nutrition, training, and the way you think about yourself and your habits that work with your life, not against it.
And so here's the system. We're going to break down these parts for you: building blocks, the nutrition blueprint, movement for life, and planning for real life. And this is our program called The Bridge. So, building blocks. Most approaches require you to have some knowledge prior to starting. This is another reason why we felt it was so important to develop this program, one of our programs, because we didn't feel like you should have to have the knowledge, right? That it excludes a whole bunch of people that really want to make change. And so we really wanted to be able to work with people of all levels, right? So so that was important to us. Another thing most approaches do is they leave very little room for flexibility when life gets busy. And they assume that you can change everything all at once and maintain it perfectly. And those things lead to overwhelm, inconsistency, and starting over and over again. Some of you might have felt that before. So our system focuses on one core concept at a time, starting with the basics and building intentionally from there. It allows space for adjustments when life's, because life is gonna life. And it prioritizes steady progress over flawless execution. Progress over perfection every single time. These things are going to lead to you feeling capable, lead to you staying consistent, and building habits that are actually sustainable long term. The nutrition blueprint. So, other approaches teach you to start in a calorie deficit. They have you cut most or all carbs. Now, all programs don't do this, but some might, have you start in a calorie deficit. Some might have you cut carbs. Some may teach fad diets of the moment, right? And these things actually lead to quicker stall of your progress. They lead to binging things like ice cream and chips, and they lead you to constantly chase the next best thing. So our system ensures that you begin at a healthy starting point. Our system believes in a balanced approach where no foods are considered bad or considered the enemy. We focus on a macro-based nutrition, which allows for maximum flexibility. And for those of you that don't know, macro-based nutrition is just another kind of fancy way of saying we balance out proteins, carbohydrates, and fats so that they work together to help you reach your goals. And we teach you all about that. This system leads to steadier progress towards fitting into that little black dress and recognizing yourself in the mirror again. Leads to increased adherence to the plan, which gets you to your goals faster. And it leads to maintaining your results because you're eating foods you actually like and enjoy, right? This most times we think, oh, we're doing something like this, we have to eat diet food. And it's not the case, or it shouldn't be the case. So it's not the case with us.
So, movement for life. So, basically, our training system, and this is the your workouts. The training system is built around three strength qualities that translates into your everyday life. So, the first phase of the training system is stability, and this addresses is imbalances that can lead to injury in the gym or while doing work around the house. Um, and if you have like a lot of times life just causes imbalances, right? Just sitting at a desk all day, or if we're doing certain type of work, that will cause an imbalance. And the stability phase will help recalibrate and balance everything out. Um,
Yeah, and the part where the injury while doing work around the house or something, like sometimes, you've heard of people kind of falling or doing things like that. And working on your stability will give you a whole lot better chance not to not to fall. Or if you do, you're going to be able to catch yourself faster or just won't get as hurt as you might have if you weren't working on stability. So super important.
Yeah. And then the next phase is muscle endurance. And this is what allows us to work around the house, go on long hikes, play with your kids, grandkids without feeling gassed, right? Um, this is the phase where it translates into everyday life. All of the phases, work into everyday life, but this one really allows you to do the work around the house and to play with your grandkids and chase them around the park. Yes, I said grandkids. And to go on that long hike and just do things without feeling tired. Because a lot of people just feel tired nowadays, right? And then the last phase is the hypertrophy phase. And this is where all the magic happens. This is where we tie everything in and you build a lean muscle that helps you get little black dress ready, right? This is where all of our hard work comes to fruition.
Yeah, and if you remember Meg, our client who is a cancer survivor, she actually recently she trains at home, but she was traveling and she was using the hotel gym and she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. And she was just like, whoa. And she like immediately took a selfie and sent it to us. And she was like, oh my gosh, look at this. Like she was just so happy at the changes in her body. And like it just made her feel so good, right? It's not only about how you look, of course, but um a lot of times it just makes you feel good, right? We know that a lot of times we also not only want to feel better, but we want to look good. And she just, like I said, she just caught a glimpse and she was like, wow, this is really working for me. And I'm super excited. So that's that's a result of the hypertrophy phase.
And if you're wondering or thinking to yourself, well, you know, I have certain issues with my shoulder, or I have this, or I have my hip or my knees, we have systems in place that address that. So if there need to be modifications or anything like that, there are systems in place that will address that. All the way to if you go on vacation and there's certain equipment that you don't have available to you, we have a system where you can swap out your movements so that you can still get your workout and still keep the intent of the training session.
Yeah. This is a big deal, like with the training, because many of you or many of our clients, and you might be in the same position, say you've been working out for a really long time. You may not have been, but if you have been, um, but you're not seeing the results that you want. And a lot of it is because you're just, you just might not know how to progress each week. And we teach you how to do that. So movement, is super important in training. Okay, and then the last pillar of our system is planning for real life. Because if you only plan for perfect weeks, then when life, you're going to fall off track, right? That's just natural. Um, so without real life planning, maybe one dinner out becomes a 3-day spiral, right? Especially on the weekends, right? So if like a Thursday or a Friday night, you had this big dinner and ate more than you planned for, more than you wanted to, and you're like, oh, well, I already screwed that up, so might as well just wait till Monday, and then you kind of spiral. That ever happened? So that could happen. If you're traveling, maybe it's well, that's a wash for that week, so I'll start over again on Monday. A missed workout could turn into a missed week, or a skipped week. And when you have some stressful time, that could lead to comfort carbs, carbohydrates with no plan, and just keep, again, spiraling. So all of these things reinforce the I can't do this. With real life planning, you shorten, not skip your training, right? So maybe your training just looks a little different for a certain season, but you don't just skip it altogether. Or you adjust, not abandon your nutrition, just change things up a little bit. When you're planning for real life, maybe you just have minimum for the days that are messy, for the days that are going to be kind of out of the ordinary. You just have a minimum amount of things that you're going to do, but it doesn't mean nothing. There's nothing, it's not all or nothing. You recover quickly instead of restarting. So you pivot, right? You just do the next right thing. So when life gets messy, you don't fall off, you pivot. Okay. So super important part of all of this, right? To tie everything together so it fits your real life. So consistency is the name of this game, not perfection. All right. So if you are curious about what this could look like to be supported through this process for you, you are welcome to apply for a discovery call. It's a no pressure call. It's just kind of to talk about your goals, and we can go in depth on what we have, our solutions to offer, and see if we're a good fit for each other. So we would love the opportunity to talk to you, and yeah, I think that would be great. So thank you for taking the time. And we hope that some of this may have resonated with you, and that you can see now that there is a different way that you can do things to start to feel better. Um, and we would love to help you and support you through that.
One thing I'd like to add is just remember, you're not getting one coach, you're getting
Mm.
two coaches. So you will be supported by two coaches, not just one.
Yeah. So thank you again, and we hope to talk to you soon.